Welcome to the Rowing Network. My name is David Glavin. I'm here on the start dock in Lake of the Gods. We've got the final Olympic and Paralympic qualification regatta, and it's going to be some tight racing. Get hyped! In what basically was a perfect day here on the Rotsey, the women's and men's pair singles started us off with only one open spot, where it looks like it's going to be the Dutch and the French based on their times. For the PR2, there's two spots. It looks like it's going to be France and Israel, followed by the Germans. And then for the PR3 mixed double, one spot, it looks like it's going to probably be the Ukrainians. And then wrapping up the Paralympic boat classes, we had a preliminary race in the mixed PR3-4, where it is probably going to go to Italy and Brazil. In the women's pair, we had another prelim race. The Danish led handily. Croatians, Kiwis, and Germans were a dead heat for second place, so that's going to be an extremely fun race to watch and see who gets that little extra wattage that gets them over the line first. We followed up the women's pair with the men's pair, obviously, where we have the Lithuanians, Dutch, Danish, and Germans, who look like they're going to be all fighting in the A final for those spots. In the Tokyo qualification regatta, it also went to the Danish and the Dutch. So will they be able to repeat? We shall see. So after the pairs, we move to the doubles, where we had the women's doubles, where it looks like the Czech, British, followed by the Swiss and the Germans will be fighting off for those two spots. It is so great to see Janine Gamelin out in the boat, and a little weird to see her in a double instead of a single. And after the women's doubles, we had the men's doubles, where it was USA with a clear lead ahead of the Swedes, Moldovans, Serbians, and Australians. So it looks like there'll be a nice, good fight for second. Here's to hoping, because Ben and Soren put their stamp on that race, and they've got some serious speed coming out of those blocks. And we kept moving up in boat classes to the fours, where the women's four was a preliminary race, where it looks like it's going to be the Danish and the Irish taking those two spots. So we'll see if they can continue that speed, and if nothing happens, or if anybody else has anything to say about it. In the men's four, it was Italy and Ukraine taking the first heats, top spots, with the Swiss with the overall lead and the Germans. So I think that men's four race is probably going to be one of the tightest in the whole regatta, just based on all the raw power that some of those boats have. After the fours, we came to the singles, which have a very interesting event at this regatta. The countries that are eligible for the third spot in the women's single goes to Slovenia, Turkey, Hungary, and Finland. Whoever finishes highest of those will get that third qualification spot. Everybody else, if they get third, will not get it because they've had a boat class decided. So it right now looks like the Swiss, Spanish, Irish are the top three, with Sanita Prospera from Ireland leading the way with the fastest time of the day for the women's singles. And then for the men's single, we've got Ireland, USA, Italy, Norway, Poland, Hungary, Slovenia, Great Britain, Spain, and Romania, who could all have a great race and take those top two spots. And then the countries for the men's side that are eligible for the third spot is Hungary, Slovenia, Slovakia, Turkey, Finland, Monaco, Cyprus, Benin, Cote d'Ivoire, Estonia, Georgia, Lebanon, Sudan, and Iraq. So you may have noticed I just listed off a couple of the same countries for the men's side and the women's side that are eligible for that third spot. If it comes to it, where say the Hungarians both qualify for the third spot, the federation will have to choose one of those two singles. And then the one that is not chosen, it will fall down to the next one. It's one of those races within the races type of events. Then we come to the lightweights, the women's lightweight double. So then we come to the lightweights. The women's lightweight double, we had the Greeks in the first heat taking it by storm, followed by the French taking it in the next heat. So it looks like those two are the favorites for the last two remaining spots. Unfortunately, the Italians just didn't seem to have the pace, but maybe they were holding back knowing they wanted to go through repechage. I wouldn't imagine so, but you never know with this event. Then when we come to the men's lightweight double, it was the Greeks and the French going nip and tuck all the way to the line, followed closely by the Germans and Polish in the second heat. So their times all within a second, and then it was just US and Austria just off the back foot in the second heat. So if they go through reps tomorrow and have a good race, they're gonna go and have a battle on their hands when it comes to the final. So since there aren't that many boats for the women's quad, it was a preliminary race for lanes, which gave us an incredible showing from the top half of the field, all separated by less than a second, with the US just nipping out Ukrainians and Canada for that, favorite lane. Whoever has a slightly worse day on Tuesday is not going to the Olympics unless one of the back half boats can come through and switch things up completely, which they might, since, you know, race for lanes on a pretty fair course. And then the men's quads, we had 4 boats within 1 second of each other, where Norway and the US took the top spots in the first heat, and then Australia and Estonia taking the next spots straight to final. And it looks like the French will be most likely in that contention based on being only a few seconds off in the heats. So another 5 boats going for 2 spots, gonna be extremely exciting. Then of course we come to the 8s. It is always a pleasure seeing 8s getting off the line at full speed. The Chinese women's 8 is loud off the line. Nobody really does that. It's entirely unique. So because it is a preliminary race for lanes, the women's 8, you know, you have to take the results with a grain of salt, but it does look like the Italians have the boat speed that they need to win. And then the Germans and the Chinese were, you know, neck and neck, about a second and a half off. One boat decides to put down a couple more watts of power in the middle 1,000. That could be the difference. And then the Danish need to find a little bit more speed to be in the hunt for that second spot. And then on the men's side, we had the US storming out the gates with the Canadians about a boat length behind. And then we had the Italians and the Austrians neck and neck in the back half. So they're gonna need to find a little bit more boat speed to even be challenging those top 2 boats. So that was the morning session. There were 5 races this afternoon. You had the men's pair, men's double, men's singles, and the women's single. Those events, because they have such a large number of entries, needed to get some racing in the afternoon in order to figure out who's in the quarterfinals of the men's single, who's in the AB semis for the pairs, and if anyone is going to actually be eliminated from the regatta. Having your journey come to an end on a single day is very difficult. It happened to many boats in 2021 for the Tokyo qualification regatta. Tomorrow will be one of those harrowing days because a lot of boats will not make it out of their quarters, semis, into the finals that they need to qualify for the Olympics. So many, many, many Olympic journeys are going to come to an end tomorrow. And we will know who is going to be fighting for those spots on Tuesday for Paris. So my name's Eamon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you tomorrow. See ya.